Laurie isn't here. Or maybe she's on her way. Namaste to everyone. Please turn off all the beeping things over there. Okay, okay. That's fine. Come closer, Raul. Sigh of relief. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vidita Shastra Sudha together. Vidita Shastra Sudha Jaladhe Mahitopanishad Kathitartha Nidhe Hridaye Kalaye Vimalam Sharanam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शनतत्त्वविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं भवता जनता सुखिता भविता निजबोधविचारणचारुमते कलयेश्वर जीवविवेकविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं भव एव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं सुकृतेऽधिकृते बहुधा भवतो तासमदर्शनलालसता अतिदीनमिमं परिपालय मां भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं सुकृतिमवितुं कृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसश्चलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं समताम् अयतां नहि कोऽपि सुधीः
शरणागतवत्सलतत्त्वनिधे भव शङ्करदेशिक मे शरणं भव शङ्करदेशिक मे शरणं विदितानमया विशदैककला न च किञ्चन काञ्चनमस्ति गुरो द्रुतमेव विधेहि कृपां सहजां भव शङ्करदेशिक मे शरणं भव शङ्करदेशिक मे शरणम्
Bhava eva bhavan iti. Yeah, it is not bhava niti. Yeah, there is no such thing called niti. Yes. Okay. So bhava eva bhavan iti. Okay. Iti means thus. Thus means how bhavaha eva bhavan. Nice rhyming, very alliterative verses these are. Bhavaha eva. Bhavaha means Shankara, Bhagavan. You know. So bha of Bhagavan and va of Van together bhava. No, we've explained the word bhava. It's bhava means the one from which everything comes, the source, bhava, and the one who is manifest as the Jagat. Because in our tradition, in the Vedic tradition, everything is Bhagavan. You don't have to look for one, particular thing called Bhagavan, because then Bhagavan will be one among many things. And this is the problem. This is the problem in a lot of minds. Think of Bhagavan, oh, Rama, 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 and then Rama goes, and then what? Something else comes, drama comes in place of Rama, and then you feel you are away from Bhagavan. Drama, the truth of drama is also Rama. This is our tradition. This is the tradition, There is no drama outside of Rama. So then whenever I'm dramatic, there is Rama. Yes. So that means I can be a drama king. I can be a drama queen, and Rama is always with me. Yes. So Rama is drama? No. This is how to understand. Drama is not outside of Rama. Rama ain't drama. Okay? Yeah. This is how to. Rama is Rama. Drama is also Rama. This is how we have to see the whole thing. Very beautiful, way. So Bhavaha is the name for Lord Shankara. The one who is. That's why we say Namo Bhavaya cha Rudraya cha, the fifth Anuvaka of Sri Rudram, eulogizes, Lord Shankara, Rudra that way. And also we have Bhavaya Namaha, Bhavalingaya Namaha. In the worship in the temple we will hear this. And so this is also what is called, Bhava, Bhavati, Prabhavati, Prakarshena Bhavati, Prabhavati. The one who has come to being without any cause, causeless cause. In the causeless being, who is the cause of everything. And the effect is not separate from the cause, but the cause is not the effect. So that causeless cause, and if you say what is the origin of everything? The answer is very clear, Bhagavan. What is the origin of Bhagavan? And, in fact, that's not a question we can ask, because in the tradition we say, Rishi Moolam, Nadi Moolam, Na Vicharayet. Don't talk about the source of the river. If you go looking for the source of the river, is it in Gangotri? Is it in, Badrinath? Is it in Kedarnath? It's a shifting source. And also, if you have a gotra, like we trace the lineage from the most exalted person in the lineage, you have a gotra, Bharadvaja gotra. So from the Rishi Bharadvaj, and then you don't go inquiring who was Bharadvaja's father, who was his mother, what was the source of Bharadvaj. Because you start from the most exalted person and you stop there. You don't go beyond. That is for even the worldly things like river and rishi. what to talk of the origin of Bhagavan. The origin of Bhagavan, the answer is there is no origin. That which doesn't have an origin, Anadi, Ananta. It doesn't have an origin because it is consciousness. Consciousness wearing a crown. That is Ishvara. Which consciousness? That which is enabling you to ask this question, which consciousness? That consciousness. Okay? That's all it is. What else to say? That consciousness wearing a crown is called Ishvara. What origin now? How come it is wearing a crown and I'm wearing tatters? That is thankfully as though tatters, as though crown, and that is what here the student is looking at Adi Shankara as Lord Shankara himself. And this is a comparison that has been made many, many times, that he was an avatara of Adi Shankara, because only an avatara can do all the things that he did, because it was, to say that all the things he did in his life was superhuman is a euphemism. It was beyond any human capacity. And and he says, Bhavaha eva. The visarga goes away because of that A coming there. So, Bhava eva bhavan. Bhavan bhavaha eva. This I have understood. I have understood that the Guru is my Guru, this is Totaka talking, is an incarnation of the Lord. And this gives us a nice inkling of how to see the, Brahma Upadesha Karta, how to visualize the Guru who is the teacher of Vedanta. And because what the Guru unfolds is what you are Bhagavan. And since the subject matter that is unfolded is non-separate from the person, so the teacher who is saying you are Bhagavan, is that teacher Bhagavan or not? Yes, definitely. Thank God that answer did not take a lot of time. So today everybody is nicely caffeinated. So then, so this is also Bhagavan, because the teacher is, the subject matter is what? Now whatever question I ask, answer is Bhagavan. Okay? What is the subject matter? Bhagavan. And the person who is the recipient of the subject matter, what is the truth of the person? Yeah, wait till I complete the sentence. That's the coffee talking. So, who is the recipient of the knowledge that one is Bhagavan? Bhagavan. And what is the book or the means, the madhyama through which this is taught? What is that? What is the book that is teaching about Bhagavan? What is its truth? Bhagavan. And finally, what is the truth of the teacher? Bhagavan. And therefore he says, Bhava eva bhavan. One reason. Second reason he says that is because of the specific way in which Adi Shankara was seen as an avatara. And his own bhakti comes in, and we see also how the people around viewed Adi Shankara as the teacher at that time. And his own bhakti, he says, Bhava eva means eva karat. We know that he is insisting, there is an insistence, and that insistence means there is a nishchaya inside. Nishchaya means what? A certainty that my teacher, who is you, is none other than Bhagavan. Of this I am firmly convinced. Not only am I firmly convinced, that Eva brings in the conviction. Nitaram. So this conviction is how long lasting? Yesterday you were Bhagavan because you gave me a nice mango for prasad. Today you gave that mango to someone else. So you are not Bhagavan, you are Gabhavan. No. Nitaram means, Nitaram sthiti. It's a unwavering conviction. Bhava eva bhavan iti, me, in me, for me, Nitaram. So because of this conviction, what happens? Samajayata is nicely born. So because of this conviction, Samajayata me, and is born, for me, in me, is born as me. What? Kautukita. From kut, not kutta. Okay? Yeah. So, Kautukita has many, has many meanings. The general Rudhi Artha is curiosity, you know. And in fact, that is the general meaning in all vernacular language also. Kutuhala, kautuhalam, all these things are called curiosity. But here it means an unwavering ecstasy and happiness. So, joy, an abiding joy, a joy that doesn't go yo-yo, up and down. A steady joy, an abiding joy is born in my heart alongside the conviction alongside the unshaking conviction. You see, the unshaking conviction is born in my heart, is a deep understanding that you are indeed Ishvara. And because of that unshaking conviction is born in my heart, what? A steady, abiding joy. I'm ecstatic. Because, it's one thing to say I went to the temple and I had a good time and, I posed for a selfie with Ishvara and, I came back. This is that's not allowed in Hindu temples actually. They don't even let you take a photo, let alone selfie. But perhaps it's possible in some temples in other places, and not in India. In Indian temples they will never allow that, but maybe in North America it is possible. You can come back and have a selfie with Bhagavan and post it and look at it, and samajayata chetasi means in the heart, because everything, all the joy is born in the heart. Chetasi, manasi, in the mind, in the heart, same thing. And so, Kautukita. So, you can also see that photo with Bhagavan and say, I am, close to Bhagavan. Paas mein baithi hu. I'm sitting right next to Bhagavan. So, this is some kind of a sannidhya, sannidhya santushtihi. So, a santushti, a contentment being born out of the fact that once at this moment when this photo was taken, I was close to Bhagavan, correct? It's not that kind of a joy. That itself could be quite happy feeling, Forget Bhagavan. You just suddenly Obama appears and you take a selfie with Obama, and wonderful, you frame it in gold and put it there. And then you invite people to come to your house and nobody looks at the photo. You're very sad. So you stand next to the photo and talk like that in the hope that they will see it. You attract the attention because this is a very prestigious moment. And that's why you're happy, because it's a world leader. It's a, big chap. And, somebody can be a big chap. You can have a photo with Hitler also, not fun. That photo you'll try to hide, or destroy, because Hitler was a big chap, all right, but an infamous chap. But Obama is not like that, famous chap. And so therefore, this is a very prestigious moment. And then whenever you look at it, you have the nice, what is that? Recollection of that one moment where you asked for the photo and the person said yes, and then you got a photo with a celebrity or a big shot. But that's not like this here. So then also you have some kautukita, but not nitaram. Not always. But here he is very proud and ecstatic of the fact that my guru is none other than Bhagavan. That's his claim to fame. No, forget the guru now. He, why is Totaka feeling happy? Totaka is feeling happy that, I am with Bhagavan. My guru is none other than Bhagavan. So, that is the level of Shraddha here and the level of bhakti. Samajayata chetasi, what? Kautukita. Kautukita, it means a kind of a ecstasy that is unwavering. That meaning also it has. It's seldom used, but nonetheless it is there. And so, mama varaya. Varaya means what? remove. Varaya, varaya, please remove for me. Mama, mine, please remove my what? Ajnanam. That's the only thing to remove. You ask the teacher, and this is very clear that he knows how the knowledge takes place. The knowledge is not something that's drilled into the head. The teacher is a life-size drill and then drills into the head and pours the knowledge, tat first and tvam first and asi first. No, very inglorious that would be. And such a knowledge that's received, you will never be able to own it up because it's coming from outside. Outside yourself, even if it's a guru is exalted, even if Ishvara is giving the knowledge, or Guru as Ishvara is giving the knowledge, it's still somebody telling you something. How is that different from saying, God is loving, therefore you have to believe Him? God is formless, but it's a Him. Many people are convinced. How can the formless have a gender? Don't ask questions. That means you have no Shraddha. And where is God? Formless, but is in heaven. Is heaven a place? Yes. How can the formless occupy place? Shut up. There's no conversation possible because it's a belief-based tradition. A lot of things are belief-based, even in the Hindu tradition, in the first portion of the Veda. Some very funny claims have been made, very strange claims, and then it's all belief-based. Like for example, Agnihi Arodit, the Lord Fire sat and cried. So why should I know this? So what big deal he cried? He was sad one day and then he cried. So what is it got to do with me? Tasmat, therefore, Barhishi, when you have a yajna, don't give silver. Rajatam nadeyam, because when you cry, it is saline solution that comes out, correct? Yeah. When Agni cries, he cried tears of silver. So therefore, if you worship Agni in the form of a yajna, Barhishi, Rajatam nadeyam, don't give gold as a gift to the priests or to whoever comes. What does it mean? Don't give silver means what? Don't give silver means give gold. So, give gold or platinum or something else. Don't give silver as a gift. Why? Because the giver of the silver as a gift will have reason to cry within 1 year. This is the first portion of the Veda. Who is anybody going to test it out? I mean, come on. Is anybody going to say, I'm going to go give silver, and after doing all this yajna, spending so much time, ayasa, energy, resources, money, calling all the people, doing annadanam, is anybody going to say, I'm going to try giving silver and see, kya hoga, what will happen? Nobody is so foolish. Whether it's a belief or not, nobody wants to test it. It's a belief-based knowledge. There are certain things in the Vedas that are just belief-based, and Vedanta is not like that. The second portion of the Veda is not belief-based. It is a teaching about you that, that it is a teaching about something that you already are. Swata siddhasya vastunaha jnanam. So it's a knowledge of the thing that is self-lit, like an isotope, except it's better and less toxic, and not toxic at all. So it's not radioactive, it is self-radiant, self. That self-radiant, self-lit, self-evident, self only, all those words only mean that when I ask the question, are you here? What is the answer that comes? Yes. That means it is self-evident. It is evident to you, and everything is evident to you. You are evident to you. Everything else is evident to you. That is what we mean by self-evident. So this self-evident self has come under some hard times. Yeah, hard times. And what are the hard times? Doesn't know its own glory. The own glory, does the glory exist or not? Yes, it's not that glory is being poured as a matter for belief or something coming from outside. The glory is self-existent, and it's the glory is alongside self-existent. Alongside the self-existence is the glory. It's not even broken up. It's not part A and part B like Medicare. No, it's all one. But somehow there is a partial eclipse. There is an eclipsing. If the eclipse is total, like in the case of animals, the eclipse is total. The ajnanam is completely total. It's not partial. The dog also knows what it is, but it doesn't know itself enough to have a complex centered on itself. I am not enough. I should be doing something. What is wrong with me? Why am I sad? Why do I want to be everything all the time when I don't even have the strength or the mental capacity or any kind of resources? Why do I have this desire to be everything? The dog doesn't have that. And so that desire to be everything obviously is not possible sitting in this, what? Gada gada, loda loda, upadhi. In this upadhi that is just barely can stand on its 2 feet. It's not possible to achieve everything. And so that frustration, that is the eclipse. It's called anyatha grahanam. So the first one, not knowing who I am, agrahanam. Not knowing my own glory does not cause problems. The dog also doesn't know it is God. It doesn't know that there is a spelling mistake in its name. It should be G-O-D. It doesn't know that. But it is, in fact, much happier than the human being. It's much happier than the master. The master is simply called master. Master is not a master of himself or herself. The master is Lokanatha of the second meaning. What? World Lord. Oh, Lord of the world? No. Lorded by the world. The one who is lorded by the world. Yeah, the very nice verse that is. Ahancha tvancha Rajendra Lokanatha Vubhavapi. Both of us are Lokanathas. Bahuvrihi Rasmi Rajan. Aham. Shashti Tatpurusho Bhavan. Yeah, you just the derivation is different. You, oh Lord, are the Lord of the world. Me, yours truly, is who? Lorded by the world, a slave. So the master of the dog is actually a slave. Enslaved by ragadveshas, including the raga for the dog. You see? Yeah. So the master of the dog is a dogged individual. And so the dog is free compared to the master. That's why, in the high Himalayas, there is a Muktinath temple. Yeah, that it's a Muktinath means the Lord of all the Muktas. Mukta here doesn't mean Gyanis. Muktaha here means animals. Because they are already free, because they only have part A of Ajnanam, that is Agrahanam. Agrahanam, I don't know my nature. So many things, even the earthworm doesn't know its nature. It keeps digging, it doesn't think, oh, I am this great, I am the self-effulgent being. Yeah. It doesn't think that. Even a glowworm, which is in fact self-effulgent, doesn't think that, It goes like this. It doesn't think I'm the Lord of the universe. No. So, ajnanam cannot cause problems. Because everything in the world, from every, janghama. Janghama means every sentient being has ajnanam. They are not troubled by it. Only human upadhi is troubled by it because it has part B, which is because I don't know who I am, I dare to dream and I dare to have nightmares about the nature of myself. I have wrong conclusions. The dog doesn't have wrong conclusions, that's why it doesn't suffer. But it is called Papa Yoni. It is called Papa Yoni means because it is a Papa Janma, it is considered because those 14, 15, 16 years, however long it may survive, 20 years even, in that time, it cannot pursue the knowledge of the self. It cannot study. It cannot, it cannot say, I need a guru dog. And, it cannot do any such things. That much life is gone. It's just exhausting purva papa. Correct? Yeah, so that's why it is called Papa Yoni. But really speaking, from the standpoint of that particular lifeline, there is no suffering. There may be suffering. The owner of the dog kicks it. It will go squealing and sit in one corner. There is physical pain. There may be some mental pain also. Why is this loved one doing this to me? But there is no suffering. In a way, they are better off than the rest of us because they are not, doing this. This part B is the miscreant here. What is part B? Anyatha jnanam. Oh, I have jnanam. Oh, great, you have jnanam? What kind of jnanam? Atma jnanam. Wow, you have self-knowledge? Yes. What is your self-knowledge? I'm as good as this body. I just don't remember anything. Even after attending the talk on memory, I still don't. I still don't remember anything. So this is the problem. Whole Jagat is after me. Everybody is running after, running behind me to catch me. Nobody loves me. I'm abandoned. I'm disbandoned. Nobody cares. And the person keeps on rehearsing the distress and the pattern to make it come true. In other words, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is what is called moha, to be deluded. Yeah. So this moha is what makes the human being a very peculiar, jati, individual, species. Extremely peculiar. What to do? That one person out of the sea of deluded people can go to one guru sitting somewhere is itself a miracle. And this one person gets the knowledge, another miracle. And the third and the most important miracle is that Adi Shankara, having been enlightened by Govindapada, who was enlightened by Gaudapada and beyond, we don't even know the names of the gurus, Adi Shankara was able to enlighten everyone else. Third miracle. This knowledge is a series of miracles. And it's a miracle precisely because the guru is not drilling new knowledge. It's not something other than you. It's already you. And what is removed is the partial eclipse. It's like a partial solar eclipse. You can see, we had one just 3 days back. But not here. In the African continent, there was a partial eclipse. The sun actually started to look like a crescent moon, if you saw the photographs. And so the sun was reduced to being a moon because of the shadow. And so this shadow is what is removed. Rahugrastha divakarendu sadrisho maya samachhadanat sanmatrah karanopasamharanato yo bhut sushuptah puman. Where have you heard this? Bhagavad Gita. Which chapter? Dakshinamurti Stotram. Yeah. Rahugrastha divakara indu sadrishaha. This is just like the luminaries which are grasta, which are caught by this shadow planet. This is the belief that the shadow of the earth or the moon is called Rahu. And that shadow, we say, has eaten up, gobbled up the sun, gobbled up the moon in the case of a lunar eclipse. So the sun and the moon are luminaries that they shine in their own way. The sun gives tapa, light and heat. The moon gives a certain coolness, but again it is a luminary. And then what? Just like when they are eclipsed by Rahu, by the head of Rahu, then what happens? Then what happens? Then there is no light. And if the sun had a human mind, the sun would be very depressed. What happened to me today? I feel blue. I'm in the blues. What happened? Woe is me. I was Divakaraha. Now I am just, tamognaha, like this. I'm completely full of tamas. What has happened to me? I don't feel like getting out of bed. And we have the whole thing of the 7 horses, one for each color of the rainbow. And the sun has a chariot of 7 horses and is driving across the sky. He doesn't even feel like sitting in the chariot because of Rahu. Yeah, sad sun. And he says, and the horses are gearing to go because they are used to, and he just says, who is going to go? I'm all sad. I'm just going to wait out for this depression to lift. And so, like that, the luminaries, just as the luminaries are shadowed, partially shadowed, similarly, Mayayaha samachhadanat, samyak achhadanat, avaranat, avarana shaktya. So, in the same way, the human, this light of all light, this Jyotisham Jyotihi, this light of all lights, which is you, which is your own glory as Ishvara, the cause of the universe, is hidden from you partially in the same manner. So the striving is not gone because somewhere I know I am the whole, I want to be there. But what that wholeness is morphed into getting a better job, getting a better house, getting a better bank account. That is what is the problem. So that desire for the wholeness is not clouded. What is clouded is that what you desire, you already are. So it's a partially eclipsed knowledge. So this ajnanam, the ignorance rather, is the state of partially eclipsed all light, all, everything. That I am everything is eclipsed. I am is clear. What I am, don't ask. This is the problem. And so, samyak achhadanat mayayaha, because of the achhadana means like a, how do you explain in English? Like a thick covering. Yeah. Like when suddenly, the clouds gather and like that. Achhadana means chad, to cover, And even in Hindi we say chat for roof because it's a covering. Like an awning if you make, chat, because it comes from chad, to cover. And so this, this achhadanam, this act of covering by Maya Shakti's power, which we talked about yesterday, what is that? Avarana. Covering of your own glory from you. Ayyabba, how is that even possible? If my own glory is covered from me, then how am I going to access it? Well. This is the Vedanta rubbing its hands in glees. Adi Shankara says, come to Papa, because this is what I've been waiting for you to ask this question. Yeah, come. I'll tell you how your own glory can be covered from you. We have only 2 words to describe that. What is that? As though. If the covering is real, it cannot be removed because svabhavasya swarupasya na nivrittihi. That which is real cannot be removed. So if the covering, if this eclipse is real, one is doomed, cannot be removed. Correct? So then it's not real. Well, if it's not real, why are you sitting in a corner? Why are you crying every day? Well, then we have to say it's neither real nor it is not real. Why use so many words? Just say as though. It's an as though covering. So if it's an as though covering, then it's an as though removal, because this is the all-knowing student, Sarvagnya student. And the Sarvagnya student thinks he or she has asked an important question and looks around for approval. So if the covering is as though, then the removal also must be as though, right? and so gleefully, shaking the shoulders, having a little inner dance. Yes? Covering is as though, and the removal is also as though. Just like we say we need one diamond to cut another diamond. If there is a thorn in the foot, you take another thorn and remove the thorn. So that same level of reality. Because really speaking, do you think the sun can be covered on the level of eclipse? It's because of the sun that you are even able to see the covering. So the sun is impossible to cover the sun. It's impossible to cover the Atma. So the Maya is then as though covering, a little shadow she brings as though, which is removed by this as though charade of Labor Day weekend retreat. It's a charade. Bring food, have classes, come on time, follow the decorum, chant properly. Even though we have one tune every single day, doesn't matter. Follow the tune of the day. Why all these rules? As though. When the as though is known as though, that it is as though, then the as though becomes a lot of fun. You can have fun with the as though. When the as though is taken to be real, then one is, it is a recipe for misery. It's a prescription for misery. So if, of course, a Vedanta teacher should not give a prescription for misery. But, that seems all wrong, actually. But supposing if the Vedanta teacher were to give a little, foolproof prescription, how to become miserable, make the as though into real. That's all. When mithya becomes satyam, then there is no satyam. Satyam becomes mithya. The mithya means as though. So therefore, this maya samadchadanat, yaha bhoot sushuptaha. So one is as though asleep. Asleep to what? Your own glory of the self. This is called moha, which he says, varaya. Mama, for me, my moha, my delusion varaya. What kind of delusion? Maha, moha, what is that? Yeah, moha maha jaladhim varaya varaya. Nashaya nashaya ityartha. Nashaya nashaya, destroy, destroy, remove, remove. What? What kind of moha? Maha moha. Not just one moha, occasionally a little drop of moha. Today I don't know who I am, but yesterday I did. No. Maha moha, nice rhyming, very nice, beautifully thing. Maha moha and jaladhi. Jaladhi means a huge body of watery moha. Collection of tears. That's why the ocean is salty. Yeah, the ocean of moha, the ocean of delusion. How did it become salty? Through the, asmin janmani, janmantareva, in this janma, in other previous janmas, crying, crying. The person was born. Every child is born crying. The person dies crying, crying, and is born into another life crying, crying, plus whole life crying, 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 crying. Even Agni is crying. On this level, everything is crying. Why am I crying? Because I am frying in the oil of samsara. I have become a crisp pakoda. That's what it is. Yeah, so this frying is not fun. The frying in samsara causes crying, and it is maha moha, meaning, anadi, akala, anadi, from before even the beginning of everything, meaning unending. Ananta is your nature, and anadi is ajnanam. Very interesting. Ajnanam doesn't have a beginning. And don't be disturbed by the fact that self-ignorance does not have a beginning. Because some people try to look for the beginning of ajnanam. Don't do that. It's a logically flawed premise. Certain things the Nayayikas had correct. They showed us some of the mistakes. What if you say ajnanam had a beginning, then what happened? How does it go? It is replaced by what? Come on. Yeah, jnanam. Don't say Bhagavan here, okay? Yeah. So, it is replaced by what? Jnanam. So, if ajnanam had a beginning, then what was there before ajnanam? Jnanam. Then if that jnanam went away and made way for ajnanam, why should I sit and take any retreat now? Ah, why should I study this now? Because this ajnanam will go, then later on again it will be replaced by ajnanam alone. So ajnanam rules. If you say ajnanam has a beginning, ajnanam doesn't have a beginning. Oh, but then things that don't have a beginning also don't have an end. No, it has an end. How do you know it has an end? Because Adi Shankara is there and he has made sure that there is not going to be any ajnanam for anybody who studies this. Even if you don't study any work by Adi Shankara, if you study Totakashtakam, then the ajnanam goes. That is the power of the teaching. Ajnanam goes. Even in small words, when you don't know a word and a word is known, ajnanam has gone. It never comes back. So therefore, ajnanam, is anadi. It has to be anadi, and it's not lack of knowledge. It's not jnanasya abhavaha. This is a wrong way of understanding. It's jnanasya virodhi. Because, when you say the negative particle called nanj pratyaya has 4 meanings. Abhave, nanj, meaning there is a lack of jnanam, absence or lack of jnanam. Anyatha means other than jnanam. Other than jnanam, ajnanam. No. Absence of jnanam, lack of jnanam, no. And then abhave, anyarthe, abhavarthe, alparthe, lack of knowledge, no. Then the last one only fits virodharthe. Jnanam ajnanasya virodhi. It is opposed to knowledge. And Adi Shankara himself says in many places in the Bhashya of the Upanishads, tamah prakashavat, wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. And so ignorance is equated to darkness, and knowledge, which, removes the shadows of ignorance, to light. Light and darkness cannot live in the same place. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That is why Chaya Devi, who is the consort of the sun, is constantly looking for him. Because there is the story like that. So she comes and says, "Where is the sun?" And everybody tells, "You just missed him." He went to America. This was in India. Then she rushes over. She takes a Concorde plane. It's no longer there, but if they were, that which survives the sonic boom and goes faster than sound. And then she rushes to America, to the East Coast. And then she's told, he just left. They can't occupy the same place. Knowledge and ignorance. So this ignorance is there. Ignorance has the same reality as that which is called darkness. Is there such a thing called darkness? Think about it. Even the scientists are wondering all this about dark matter. Why does dark matter matter? There's a big article about all this. So is there something called darkness? Well, think about it. Because what kind of an existence does it have? If it is disbanded by light, then does it have an existence? You have to say no. So is there darkness? And you can just use the 2 words which are wonderful. What? As though there is darkness. But why not say as though there is light? Yeah. Because it only goes one way. Darkness is dispelled by which that light is not, removed by darkness. That's the way jnanam operates. And kudos to Totaka that he knows this, and he says, Mama varaya moha mahajaladhim. This ocean of salty tears that I have cried, fried and dried in this ocean of salty tears for many, 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 Ayabba, how many, 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 many births. Okay? Endless numbers of, even numbers of births are anadi. And very depressing thought. But so all these birds have cried oceans and these oceans, and then once you cry an ocean, then that ocean starts to take life, because first one small amoeba will be there, and amoeba of doubt, and then it will split into two doubts. Shanka has that way. Shanka multiplies. And from 2 will it go to, what will it go to? 4. From 4 will it go to 6? No, no, no. The blessed thing goes to 8. And then it only goes in square root, 16, 64, like that it'll keep going. Because each of them are multiplying. They have no other job other than to multiply. And then, then the doubt starts to have kind of fins and starts to swim. This is the evolution of samsara. in the mind, in the inner infrastructure. So then it becomes a fish, and then very fishy, because that's how all the doubts are. You try to catch it, it slips away, starting with eel, correct? And then it slithers and fishy, swims this way, that way, takes you this way, that way, and the fish is the embodiment of indecision. That is what Shanka gives, self-Shanka. Indecision, can't decide what to do, can't decide where to go, can't decide anything. And then what? And this indecisive person, the indecision grows legs, and the fish start to, as you have seen in comics, they start to come to the shore and start to walk. And when the doubts have been what? Now first the doubts were slippery, you could not catch them. Now they have grown foundation, they are rooting themselves. And a rooted doubt is no longer a doubt. Now I'm certain that I'm an idiot, Now the idiocy is walking on, the thought that I'm an idiot is walking on two legs, its own legs. Then it becomes a raptor, then it grows wings, flies, eats everything else up. Anything benign it eats, doesn't allow anything to prosper. It takes over. And then that becomes extinct, and like this it goes on and on. Then we heard of monkey mind yesterday, and that's where it ends. All kinds of Ishta monkeys, like Ishta Devatas, what? Orangutan, chimpanzee, this, that, everything. Jumping, scratching, restless. This is where one is, left high and dry, because of the salty tears, endless tears. So dry up those tears. O Bhava, O Guru, you who are the cause of this ajnanam, indirectly. You cannot say Bhagavan caused ajnanam, But in your, you are the one who knows about this ajnanam. And I am born in this ajnanam because of my own karma. If you are the cause, you are the karma phaladata. So in that way, I have partaken this ajnanam. Remove this ocean forever. How to remove the ocean? You need a little thimble or what, You keep on doing this. How long? No. Make the ocean disappear by taking away these horrid 3D glasses which I have somehow starting to, when the unreal has become real, I'm tormented. I told you that's the foolproof recipe for what? Samsara. And so remove this varaya nashaya me mama mahajaladhim moha mahajaladhim he bhavashankara he deshika tava sharanam. You are my only refuge, because without you this ocean is not going to dry up, because I have cried an ocean. That's the thing. The only way it's going to dry up is because of your teachings, which is going to show me what? The ocean is but a notion. That is jnanam. Then, sukrite adhikrite. This is how to read it. Sukrite bahudha adhikrite. Bhavatah samadarshana lalasata bhavita. Sukritam means good karma. All my good karmas. And how did I get all the good karmas? By serving you, he says. Sukritam, Sukrite Adhikrite is a Sati Saptami, absolute locative construction. And so, Sukrite Adhikrite, when this good karma of mine is made, is amplified, is increased, Bhavataha, Bhavataha should be read as Bhavata, because of your grace. Because of your grace, even a little glass of water I fetched for you, but because of your grace, instead of getting 2 punya points, I got 8. Huh? Extra, yes. So just like you have frequent flyer miles, here you have bonus karmic points because the kataksha of the Guru, the eyes of the Guru fell on the service, or the Guru noticed the service, and because the Guru is who the Guru is, all Guru means big. So, because the Guru has got Guruta, bigness, so what happens is that everything you do looks big to the Guru. That is the Guru. If you do something for someone else, you will always find fault. What? Why? What? This is not enough. Not good. And but if you serve a sadhu, the belief is, and so many texts talk about this, including this one, that the grace of that, even if the Guru does not say anything, let's say the Guru to teach you is finding the fault or telling something, correcting something, but still whatever you have done, the effect of that is amplified. It is amplified because of that spontaneous sahaja compassion, which is the embodiment of Adi Shankara here and all Gurus everywhere. So, if you serve a sadhu, if you serve a Guru, then the effects, it's like bonus points. So, he knows this. He says, I have been serving whatever I have done in my life, whether through your service or even other punya, by coming to you, have amplified, have become big, have increased, multiplied in a manifold way. They have all multiplied. And what has multiplied? My good karma. And another meaning, through the study of Vedanta, good karma multiplies. Really. Because Vedanta Shravanam is punya karma. See, Friday we started. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now what? Monday. 4 days of earning punya. If you have a doubt, like, okay, I've been sitting for 4 days, I've not understood much, don't worry. The punya has been gained, which will remove the obstacles to understanding. This is what he is trying to say in this verse. Yeah. I used to go with Pujya Swamiji everywhere, and we went to one place, in a small place in where is that? Now I suppose it might be in Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, that time it was, and Rajamundri, one small place. And then there's just a big crowd and so many people, thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people. And of course, Pujya Swamiji is lecturing in English, and all these traditional ladies are sitting and wearing their wonderful silk saris and everything, and nicely dressed they are coming, and they're all coming on time and everything, sitting there. Not a single day, 10-day talk, not a single day they missed, morning and night. And then on the last day, prasad was given, he gave some book and everything. And so he got a doubt. He asked in Telugu, one of the ladies, who are all these people? Oh, they're all our some group. They had some puja group, bhajan group. So the whole group of 50 women was coming every day. So they said, are you following? Not a single word. Nothing we are following. Then what are you doing here? Punyam. Yeah. Even they knew that sitting in Vedanta class gives punya. Well, actually, just sitting may not give punya. You have to understand. At least make the attempt to understand. But I think, they would have definitely got punya because of just the sheer effort and the shraddha that I am going to get punya. Not a single word they understood. If anybody doesn't understand even a little bit, they'll stop coming. But they came with renewed vigor, and in the beginning there were only 10, 12 of them. By the end, it was like a big mandali, big, huge group of women. And it was very touching to see that. And so that is the thing. So the punya comes even from attending the classes. And when you are engaged in the study of Vedanta, then what happens? Then all the things that need to be taken care of are taken care of without your putting an effort. Ah, really? Yes, really. So if you make a little bit of effort to study, then Bhagavan and the Guru's grace, Bhagavan's grace, your own Atma Kripa, what does the three graces we have talked about at length, and the three graces is almost like they conspire in a nice way to make you free to study more and more. They free up things. Suddenly somebody will say, oh, you are studying, let me bring you food. Food comes. See, it's been coming 3 days. And and then somebody else says, oh, what else do you need? It will just happen. It happens. And so that way it is a very auspicious thing because you're doing what you're supposed to do in this life. This life is for this only. No, but I'm married. Well, that's fine. But at the same time, it's like I've given you the example of the person heading to the airport. You want to go to the airport. I have to go tomorrow, so that's why I'm talking about it. So you're going to the airport, and then you're really early. So on the way, what do? You say, let me pick up something to eat, because no, they don't give anything to eat on these days, on the planes. Then you go to the supermarket. Where are you headed? Airport. You don't suddenly make a big list and start shopping for the house. No, airport. Then you look at the clock, you look at the watch, you still have a lot of time. And then you see that there is some dry cleaning sitting in the back of your car. Then you say, may as well drop the dry cleaning. Then you go to the dry cleaner, you've been going there for many years, so you have a nice chat. Where are you headed? Airport. Correct? That's not forgotten. Then you see that you have even more time. And then somebody calls you. It's your friend who lives near the airport. Yeah, everybody is on high alert today. Very nice to see. So, and then the friend says, let's have some coffee. You come to my house. And in fact, why do you want to drive to the... Yeah, so you leave the car here, I'll give you a ride. So when you're having coffee with a friend, where are you headed? Airport. That's all it is. You don't forget. The traveler does not forget the destination. Those all marriage, children, job, movies, malls, balls, all these things, dinners, parties, are all little stops on the way to... No, moksha. This is one time you shouldn't say airport. Yeah, because if you say marriage is a stop on the way to the airport, the significant other will feel very nervous. That you're leaving him or her and going to airport. Yeah, so this is all a stop for that pursuit called moksha, whose only upaya to get moksha is knowledge. You can't get moksha by action, because action does not remove ignorance. The antidote for ignorance is what? Airport. No. Knowledge. Yes. So just like the darkness is dispelled, removed by the light. Ajnanam is removed by jnanam. Tamah prakashavat. So like this, we have, moha mahajaladhim. He has, that we have seen. Sukrite adhikrite. So adhikrite means when my punya fructifies and starts to become more and more and more. Why? Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That is dharma. The definition of dharma is doing what you're supposed to do. And swadhyaya is the first dharma, studying about yourself. Yeah. Swasya vedasya adhyayana. First meaning of swadhyaya is studying your own Veda, but then you can also say swasya adhyayanam swadhyaya, studying about yourself. Yeah. Self-knowledge is your first swadharma. And when you follow that, all kinds of doors open. And here he recognizes that and he says, Sukrite adhikrite bahudha. It multiplies. How? Why? Bhavataha. Because of you. You are the teacher. Because of you are Bhava. You are Bhagavan. And so, what are you doing? You are dispelling my duritas, all my bad karma, you are extinguishing. And you are increasing my good karma. And then, so what? What will happen as a result? We will see that after the break. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamidachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yeah, 10 minutes, come back.